Hey guys, doing a video on fragging palys, Zoas and Palys. Either or, it's going to be the same way, whether it's Zoas or Palys. And I'm going to show you two different ways in this video. I'm going to show you the easy way, which is with bone cutters, and the difficult way, which is using a razor blade to peel off the Zoas. My pufferfish there wanted to come say hi. What we're going to do is all those yellow palys in the middle of that rock, we're going to extract those. So those are the ones we want to pull out. As you can see, those green ones are kind of suffocating them. So we're going to pull out those yellow palys because those are the pretty ones. Those are the ones that I want. I will actually attach those to my rock work, whereas those green ones will just kind of grow and take over like crazy. And I'm going to leave them on the sand bed on that rock for now. So let's get into fragging here. So instead of using my Dremel, I'm actually going to use my frag kit. So the big things that we want are bone cutters, tweezers, a razor or scalpel, some gloves, safety glasses, frag plug or disc containers. I'll just note that you'll probably see my hand without a glove on it. I usually don't use gloves or safety glasses when I frag, but for this video, I should promote using gloves and safety glasses because that is the preferred way, especially with Zoas and Palys. You don't want to get anything, they could squirt, you don't want to get that in your eye. So the two ways we're going to cover is with the bone cutters. I'll call that the easy way, and the razor peel off the hard way. So let's look at the bone cutters first. So the bone cutters, what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to keep a portion of the rock underneath, which makes it easy to glue it to a frag plug, disc, glue it to your rock work, etc. So I have the rock there out of the water. I have bone cutters, and I am going to find a place to just clip at the rocks. As you can kind of see there, we're going to clip right there at the rock and pull off a chunk of them. And, you know, sometimes you might need to do two clips, especially with the Zoas and Palys. They grow in a mat. That'll become important when we're doing the razor piece, but they do grow in a mat. So sometimes you'll need an additional clip there. Just kind of pull them off. That was an extra little frag that just fell off as we clipped. So that's kind of the green ones that were out there on the end. I just went ahead and removed them so I could get to the yellow ones more easily. I will glue those back onto that rock right there when I put it back in the tank later. So here's kind of a clip getting at some of those yellow ones there in the center. Again, another just going to take a couple clips here to break it free. And again, this is the easy way. You can see a piece of the rock is coming off with it. And that's going to make it really easy to glue to a frag plug or disc. So this is the hard way. With the razor, we're going to kind of peel off a few. This is, you know, if you have some that you just want to take a couple heads off, you can see kind of there, you got to get your razor blade up underneath it. Be careful not to cut them, otherwise you could kill them. And this is a lot easier if you have a smooth surface versus a rock. So if you had some high end ones growing on a frag disc, you could easily get up underneath the mat and just kind of peel them off. As you can see, I'm not picking at the Paly or the Zoa there. I'm getting up underneath it. And you can just kind of see that whole mat moving with it. You can see as I just kind of push there, there is a mat that it's growing on, and that whole mat is just kind of moving with it. So again, I'm not cutting the Zoa or the Paly. I am getting up underneath the mat that it grows. It just kind of grows its own little mat that they have. That's how they stay connected together. And I'm getting up under that mat to break away the amount that I want, or I shouldn't say break away, to lift. You can see it kind of lifting there, the amount that I want. And I'm going to get the amount that I want lifted there. You can see there's just kind of a little mat there that I'm lifting. And then I'm going to, you could either use your razor blade to cut them free, or I'm going to use a pair of scissors from my frag kit, and I'm just going to kind of cut free those few polyps right there. There we go. We're going to just cut them free, and we will have our frag of palys on their own little mat. Again, this is kind of the hard way, but if you have some high-end ones that you just want to pull a couple polyps off of, this would be the best way to do it. Otherwise, you are going to be breaking your rock or the frag plug or disc, and you're going to get an undetermined amount. Here you can kind of get between them, especially on a flat surface, so much easier, and you can hand pick how many polyps you want to pull off. So looking at the frags here, we have them here sitting in the container of water. You can see the ones with the rock, and then there's that one that I just cut and took the mat. You can see it's just kind of floating around a little bit because there's no real weight to it. There's no real substrate on the bottom that's like going to hold it in place. So as I move the container, it just kind of floats around. Whereas the other pieces, obviously they're bigger. They have a chunk of rock holding them in place. You can kind of see the rock there holding them in place. And again, those are going to be bigger pieces. It's much easier frag when you just use your bone cutters and cut a chunk of the rock. And again, you can cut smaller amounts. You don't have to cut a big chunk like that, like I did. But I was trying to remove a big chunk of the yellow ones in the center. So bigger chunks or bigger cuts were what I did. So I have my frag plugs here, or frag disc here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a piece, and the first thing I'm going to do before I glue it is I'm just going to kind of dab it on the towel that I've set out. That way I can dry the bottom a bit, and then it will go down onto the frag disc. And as soon as you see it was kind of still a little bit wet there, so I'm dabbing it again. And then it's going to go on the frag disc, and then it's going to go into that container of water again to start the curing process while I get all the other ones mounted onto disc. And so here's the next one. Again, we'll dab it and dry it a little bit, and then it will go on the disc, and we will put it into the water to cure. Sometimes I'll take a little extra water out and just kind of dribble it over. If you watched me frag my hammer, you saw me do that. I just took a little extra water in a cup and just kind of dribbled it over so I could get it to cure just a touch while I was positioning it how I wanted. But especially with like these, there's a big chunk of rock at the bottom. They're just kind of sit one way. And the one that I pulled the skin off again, it's just going to kind of sit one way. So don't really need to do that here, but something like a hammer where you want to make sure it stands up straight, or a SPS where you want to make sure it stands up the way you want it, that may help as well. So here they all are in the bucket of tank water. Again, this is tank water in that bucket. It's not just random water, it's tank water. And then here's the frags a couple hours afterward, sitting in my tank. You can see them opened up. You can see the ones where I just pulled kind of the skin off. So looks like I got 3 of them sitting there where I just kind of used that razor and pulled that skin off and stuck them to a frag plug. And then you're going to see them here for a minute, just kind of sitting in the water. And yes, I know I originally glued them to a square frag plug or a frag disc. I moved them over to a plug. So yes, it is a different plug for the ones there with the skin. So you're going to see them here on my frag rack, and then I'm going to move them over, and I'm going to put them on my rock work. And that's them here. Actually, as you can see, I took them back off that frag disc and moved them to my rock work. The one, again, they have rock on the bottom of them, so there's really no reason to transfer the frag disc. I just glued them there temporarily while they sat on my frag rack, but I took them off the frag disc and I glued them to my rock work here, because these yellow ones, I'm pretty okay if they kind of take over a little portion of the rock work. They're kind of off on a small rock off to the side. And I'm okay to give them a little bit of room there to grow. So hopefully this helped. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, check out some more of my content, and I will get more out soon. Thanks, guys.